Hey everyone, Brett here from 502 Motorsports again. Just a quick little video for you tonight. Thought I'd just run you through the 502 Motorsports YZ ESR 325. It's a little bit different out here. Don't see too many of them. There's not a great deal out here that I know of. I know there's a few guys down in Victoria running them. I think there's one or two guys, mostly motocross, one or two guys running them in enduro stuff. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, we'll start off up at the top. So Renthal full diamond grips, Magura clutch, hydraulic clutch, running the Magura lever. Yeah, just I find it a better feel, constant feel. Don't have the drag with the cable. Didn't take a great deal getting used to. One or two rides, and it was I kind of adapted really well to it. Pro taper handlebars in a Doug Henry bend. I've been running these since early 2000s. Really used to them, so I kind of stick with the same bar bend for almost 20 years now. Standard Yamaha master cylinder. I got the Tusk bolt-on perch there with the little plastic sleeve in it, so it is easier if it do come off and it spins. It's easier to get it back around. We are running a Vortec ignition on this to help with the big bore. Map 1 is the map that's in there all the time. That's the performance map. I usually switch between, and the other map I run down the bottom here, that's a torque map that I usually run for starts and then switch up to the performance map halfway along the straight, or coming into the first corner. Strike gripper seat and MX Ink graphics on the bike. As you can see, time for some new ones, but I do actually have a alloy tank to go on this, so get rid of the perforated seat cover tank graphics. No more peeling off. Everyone knows who runs a plastic tank, they do eventually all come off. So yeah, full MX Ink kit. At the front, suspension, KYB, Yamaha Triple S suspension. Technic suspension have done all my bikes since 2004. So I've trusted Nick for almost 20 years now with all my stuff, be it motocross, drag, vintage. He does all my suspension. I wouldn't go anywhere else. He's done the Husky. I had a WR500 that I'd done during bought, rebuilt, and sold during COVID. So he's done all that. He's done the suspension on the drag bike, which is whenever that's finished. But yeah, for practice days, standard Yamaha wheels and hubs on Bridgestone tyres, the Battlecross X20. I did run Bridgestones years ago, early 2000s when Reedy was running them. I found them really good, but they were hard to get at the end, so I kind of went to the Dunlops, which were relatively easy. Standard oversized floating disc from Yamaha. Like I say, these are the practice day rims. Race day rims, I have billet hubs and billet hubs with black rims, stainless steel spokes. They're my race day rims and tyres. Still run the same Bridgestone X20 Battlecross tyres for race or practice days. Run hour meter on it, keep the hours in check. Both practice and race day rims run Renthal sprockets with a Renthal chain. I don't run an O-ring, X-ring, any type of ring, O-ring, rubber ring chain. Never have. I've had chains, no problem with the chains. Don't really like the O-ring chains. They seem to create a lot of drag. I tend to be a little bit wider. I've never had any problem. I've never really ran one. But I know a lot of people, they end up chewing out cases and stuff like that. But I usually run a Renthal R1 motocross chain. It's expensive. It's over, it's $170, $180, I think they are from memory. I could be wrong. They might have come down. But, yeah, they're an expensive non-O-ring chain. I keep it in like the correct tension. Always keep it well lubed. I've never had any problems with them. So if you're looking for a good non-O-ring chain, give that one a go. Billet foot pegs. This one is the gear lever. It's a Zeta one. I actually really do like the standard gear lever. The only reason I changed it to this one is that it did bend. But I do like, they don't seem to come loose. I've noticed with other aftermarket levers, forever tightening them. They always come loose. Always got to nip them up. Yamaha one, I found it's tight and it stays tight. So I'll come around the other side. Again, torque one, rear lever, brake lever. A little bit longer than the standard one. I like the feel of it. Yeah, again, Technic suspension back in the shock. This is a ESR expansion chamber, specially built for the 325. So it's bigger, it sticks out wider. Luckily, I haven't had too much damage on it yet. It is a bit, does come out fairly wide out past the engine. Does loop around. It is physically bigger, being that it is made directly for a big bore 325. Apparently he has Eddie Sanders, where the kit comes from, has good response back from guys running them on 250s. So it's just not a big bore pipe. They can be run on 250s. He reckons they have good feedback. At the front, yeah, just a bull bar brake lever at the front. The same genuine, just normal Yamaha Nissan brake master cylinder. Again, for practice, standard rear Yamaha disc, billet, axle blocks, muffler on it is a HGS. Now, before the ESR pipe was available, I did run a full HGS system on this, and I must say it was a very good system. Yeah, so if you are looking for a system for a 250, they are a little bit on the more expensive side, but they do work really well. I had to put the 250 cylinder back on this last year when I couldn't get a piston for the 325, and I can say, yeah, the HGS system does work really well on the 250. Now, the big girl, the big jug, ESR 325. It is a completely new cylinder. I know a lot of the 300 kits that guys done, Athena, stuff like that, two-stroke performance down in Victoria in Australia. Guys in Eric Gore in America, they were using the standard Yamaha jug and taking them out to 300, boring them out and recoating them. This is a completely new, different standalone jug. It's got a two-piece billet head, so you can change the insert in the head for compression ratios. The power valve in there, I don't know how well you can see it, is, let me turn the light on, in there is not a mechanical power valve like on the 250. It is actually a spring-loaded valve. You see in here, there's a bolt there and a nut. You can preload the spring on the power valve to where you want it to open up and the power to come on. So it works off exhaust pressure is what it works on. So the less of the spring, the quicker it opens. ESR reed block, again, specially built for the 325. So, but again, can run them on the 250. Has had good reports back of run the ESR on the 250. So again, if you're looking for something different or you can't get one for a 250, have a look at the ESR one in America. Running standard carby, jetted quite differently for the big bore. I was surprised how lean I had to go to set the fueling right for the big bore. As you can see, the carby is quite close now compared to the 250 on the inlet runner. So it is a lot closer, so it does suck a lot more fuel in. I think I've come down to a 160 main jet from, I think the standard is like 176 or 178. Pilot jet is 42. I did go down to 40 at one stage, but it was pinging down low because it was quite lean. So yeah, so he's an awesome bit of gear. Have had a few people at different race days come up and ask me what it was, including officials. They weren't too sure what it was because it didn't sound like a 250. I was racing in opens. This was a while ago when the rule was you couldn't race a 250 two-stroke in the opens. They wanted to come up and make sure everything was legit. I always used to carry the receipt for it around to prove that it was a 325 and not a 250, and it had a few people scratching their heads. See down there, Vortec Ignition, and they're a great Australian company. Run the GYTR whole shot device. I run the coolant, engine ice in the coolant. I run Penrite castor oil in the engine mixed with Rue 99 VP race fuel. Just helps with the pinging a little bit because, as we all know, the Australian fuel is not the best coming from the pumps. Penrite castor oil in the engine. Everyone might find this a little bit weird. Diesel engine oil in the gearbox. Run that every 5 hours and change it. It's cheap and it's good quality. If you actually do read the manual for these, Yamaha actually specify a Yamaha 4-stroke mineral engine oil or synthetic engine oil in the gearbox for these. It's not actually a gear oil. It is a engine oil. So, but yeah, that's the 325. She's looking a little bit sad at the moment, I must say. Usually my bikes don't look like this, but COVID, it wasn't ridden a great deal, to be honest, ever since. And then I got married in February, then moved in May. So it is kind of looking a little bit on the sorry side. But once I get sorted, I will get into it. New graphics, put the aluminium tank on, make her look a lot better than what she does now. So that was a bit of a walkthrough for the Yz 325. It is an amazing thing and fun thing to ride. I really do love it. Didn't want to go the four-stroke route. I did want to race opens back before I turned 35 and could start racing in the vets class. But yeah, great thing, great fun, and everyone always seems to be kind of scratching their heads sometimes of what it is, because it doesn't sound like a 250 and it doesn't sound like a 500. It is literally in between both sounds. I just want to leave off on a note that kind of does bug me a lot. Unfortunately, with the motorcycle industry and the whole scene, I've had the Husky up for sale on Marketplace. I put up what I thought was a good price, a decent price for the work that was done. No, they're not a sought after bike. They're a rare bike. They're an iconic bike. And the lineage of that bike is something that these bikes now, the 4-strokes, wouldn't be around if these Huskies and the Husselbergs weren't around first. These things were iconic back in the day. I think they're a great bike. I think they're a rare bike. And there's something that should be restored and not destroyed and pulled apart for spare parts. That's why I grabbed this thing. This thing was going to get parted out. I couldn't dare see this thing pulled into a million pieces and be sold. So I really did want to save it. The thing that really is frustrating me, and I've seen many times, when people put bikes up, stuff up for sale, don't get on there and bag the shit out of them if you think the price is too high, or you think that model bike was not good, or if it was a dog or a lemon. Just look at the ad, read the ad, and move on. I see the motorcycle community as a big family. You can go to any racetrack, any track day, ride day, practice track, enduro loop, ride park, anywhere in Australia. And if you have a problem, you need a part, you need to borrow something, you go there, you don't have a tube, the guy next to you's got a tube. Mate, I'll give you $20 for a tube. Yeah, okay, sweet as, mate, not a drum. It could be his last tube. Then he doesn't have a tube for the rest of the day. And then, or it could be his spark plug. He's got one spark plug left and he sells it to you so you can have a ride. Well, it's a big family. It's a big community. Don't bag the shit out of people when they're trying to sell stuff. I've had it for this bike. Oh, those bikes were shit. Oh, that was wrong. Oh, this, that, Oh, that's overpriced. Oh, they were crap. They were slow. And just, if you don't agree with the bike, cool, fine. You don't like old school Huskies. You don't like old school Husselbergs. 2-strokes, 4-strokes, whatever. Guys are trying to sell their bikes for their reasons. Don't jump on and put them down and bag the bike. You never know. The bloke might be selling his bike because he's got to pay medical bill for his kids. His kids might be sick. His wife might be sick. His mum might be sick. His dad might be sick. He has his reasons why he's selling his bike. He might not want to sell the bike. But if his family is in desperate needs, they might have bills. They might be can't make the mortgage repayment. Don't jump on there and bag the bloke or bag the bike. Read the ad. Go, look, think to yourself, oh, that's a bit overpriced for that bike. Those models were a bit of a lemon. But don't bag the poor guy out. He's trying to sell his bike for his reasons. You don't know what they are. I'm selling this bike because I've got other projects I need to fund. So just let's be a family, a motorcycle family. Let's be a community. Let's, instead of bagging each other and pulling each other down, let's lift each other up. Oh, the hands there. Let's lift each other up. Share the ad. If you don't believe that's worth that much, every bike is worth what that owner believes it's worth. He may have put huge dollars into it. He may have put too much dollars into it and he's trying to get some money back. But don't bag the poor bloke out or the ad. We all know there was some bikes that were better than the others. The Huskies, when they were run by BMW weren't the greatest thing in the world. We know the early Husselbergs, early 2000 Husselbergs, they weren't the greatest thing in the world either. But people bought them, people loved them. I had a Husselberg 450. I had too many projects, so I sold it. They were another iconic bike, and it's sad to see that KTM have completely destroyed something that was such an iconic brand, little brand in the world. Like, they were some of the first, 4-stroke only companies that were building racing 4-strokes before the Japanese were, And it's sad to see that they're gone. And I have my thoughts on what KTM are doing to companies. They've gone and taken they've got rid of the Husselberg. They were an iconic brand. Husqvarna, one of the early motorcycle brands, 1901, 05, 07, been around for more than 100 years, and they've just kind of scrapped them. Now they've just, and then now they're doing it to gas now. Not so much an iconic motocross brand, but an iconic enduro brand out of Spain, like gas enduro bikes, gas trials bikes. Yeah, look, it's great to see another manufacturer in motocross and to keep something like Husqvarna in motocross, but they're becoming, I think, cookie cutter bikes. Like, what's the next thing? I've heard rumours that they're looking at Beta or Better now to buy out. Is it good for the sport? It's good for the sport in a way that there's more manufacturers on grids, be it motocross or road racing or enduro or trials, but you're killing the history of the sport, I think. But that's my opinion. I would like to see, if they're doing this cookie cutter thing, I'd love to see them bring back Husselberg. Okay, it's another, just put blue and yellow on a KTM. They're doing it for Husqvarna and Gas. Why not bring back Husselberg and have another manufacturer? It's the same bike, another manufacturer, but if they're looking to put brands into sport, but that's my opinion. That's something I feel kind of strongly about, to be honest. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of what the KTM guys are doing, or the KTM group, I think it's called now. But yeah, I'd hate to see him gobble up all these little manufacturers and put different color stickers or different color graphic guards on all the same bike. So, but that's my 2 cents anyway. So look, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell them both. Tell your boyfriend, tell your kids, tell your family, tell the guys at work, Check out 582 Motorsports on YouTube. You can check out me on Instagram as well. There's a few photos. I did do some work on the drag car over the weekend. Got the engine in, got the engine plate set up. It was kind of in and out and do this, do that, cut this, measure here. So I didn't film it, but if you want to have a look, go over to 58 Sports on Instagram. Check it out there. There's a couple of photos. We'll be doing some more on that. It'll be bits and pieces, so it could be short videos or it could be long videos. I'm not too sure at the moment. So, yeah, that's coming up. I have gone and seen the chassis guy. The car does need some chassis work, some wheelie bars made, stuff like that. That won't be happening until the new year, unfortunately, but the guy is good. So anyone who is good, you have to wait for. So he's nice and local too. So... But there's some car stuff going to come up. I have to refit the engine in, probably in 2 weeks' time. I'll throw it back in there and try and fit the fiberglass front end. It is going to have to take some cutting to get the engine to fit. The engine is going to be hanging out the bonnet, and by the hanging out, I mean rocker covers and all. So the car was set up for a small block. It does have a big block in it now. So it is quite a big difference in size. So thanks, guys. That's me for the night. Again, oh, let's just check out. Oh, found a few more trophies up here. That one there is a trophy I won, funnily enough, racing a YZ 250F out the drags. I won a bike fest in the racer class, which was a class for everything else that didn't fit into an actual class. So yeah, the little 250F, I raced it in 04, 05 and 6 out there. Ran 15 threes all day and ended up winning. So that was quite funny, to be honest. All the guys cheering when they come back. I got called the Chook Chaser all day. How's the Chook Chaser going? How's the Chook Chaser going? So I don't think the guy who was in the final with me on the ZX1 drag bike with the wheelie bars the whole lot wasn't too impressed that I beat him on a motocross bike. So yeah, actually, and I did find another trophy. It's in the house somewhere because still unpacking from the move. It was the second place 500cc trophy that I won up at Mountain Man Motocross. So that was a pretty good trophy to win, actually, 500cc class. Second, not too many 500cc races anymore. I raced that on the little 325. So yeah, got second in that. So it was yeah, up here at motocross. I think at Mountain Man, I did mention that in a video before. If you're looking, once all this COVID crap is over and racing gets back underway fully, I know there is racing going on, but all these events, they're hard to plan. If you plan it and borders shut, it's hard to get people to come. So yeah, but look out for that at the Toowoomba Motocross Club, Echo Valley. So make sure you get on there, Toowoomba, follow them, like them on Facebook, and they also have a Mountain Man Motocross page. Check on that. Same as guys over at Two Stroke Cup at Wollongong. Get onto Wollongong Facebook page, get onto Wollongong Instagram, get onto Two Stroke Cup Instagram and Mountain Man Instagram. Check them out, follow them, keep all up to date. There are two great series, ones that I love. I was saying I was involved in Two Stroke Cup, putting that on. Fantastic event. Okay, I've waffled on long enough, I think, for you guys. So, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for coming.